Welcome to Around the Weird. Here's your host, the museum curator of the strange and unusual, Mr. Nothing.
Thank you, Mysterious Voice, and welcome back to Around the Weird, a booktube channel where I talk about all the unusual and out of the ordinary literature that I've found in my travels. Today, it is Short Story Tuesday, so I wanted to focus on a spooky short story because it is the month of October, and as I've said before, it is Junjitober, so I'm talking predominantly about Junji short stories this month. And today's short story is all about slugs and grotesque body horror. I am referring to Slug Girl by Junji, which comes from the book that I've been exploring, Tombs, which was published in 2023. I've already talked about Junji on this channel, so again, I don't need to go into great detail, but he is a Japanese author known for writing short stories and general horror-based stories, often in graphic novel format. And he's won a number of awards for his work, so he's pretty well regarded. I particularly enjoyed the titular story in his collection, but now I've moved on to another short story. So let's find out what I think about that. I will do a summary, a little bit of analysis, and we will move on from there. So Slug Girl focuses on both Ri and Yuko. Ri is a teenager, let's say, and at the start of the story, they're talking about something that happened with their friend Yuko, how they went through a bit of a change. And at first, it seems like Yuko just has a speech impediment. They're not able to speak as they normally would, and Yuko doesn't really care to talk about what is happening, and she's just like, leave me alone. So Ri leaves her alone. But Ri ends up going to her house and discovering that her Yuko's parents hate slugs. Like they're in the backyard, like just trying to kill them because they keep like, I don't know, invading the garden or whatever. And Ri goes and talks to Yuko. But again, Yuko is dealing with this sort of speech impediment problem. Although Yuko's mom says that it might just be psychological, at least that's what the doctor says. But later, Ri comes back and she discovers that Yuko's tongue has been transformed, whereas before there was a regular tongue. Now there is a slug, which makes it harder to eat, and things are not going well for Yuko, to say the least. And Ri is so alarmed by this and disgusted by this that she leaves and doesn't come back, and she only finds out what eventually happened to Yuko from her parents. Apparently Yuko tried to cut out the slug, but it grew back over and over and over again. And finally, Yuko's parents decide to fill the bathtub full of salt and throw Yuko into it, and this will hopefully kill the slug. And they Yuko goes, like, sinks into the tub like it were water with the salt. And they, like, Yuko's parents realize she hasn't come up for some time, and when they pull her out, all they can pull out is the slug, or not the slug. All they can pull out is Yuko's head, no body or anything like that. And they pour water on her in the hopes that that'll make the body grow back. But as we see, the only thing that grows back is the slug. So the Yuko's head is now being used as a shell of sorts. And they just leave the body in the backyard. And Ri notes that anytime anyone walks close to what formerly was Yuko, her face just looks sad. And so it kind of ends there. In terms of analysis, this is pretty disgusting. And I suppose this is what I should be expecting of Junji from now on. In terms of, getting at the type of horror that this story evokes, it's obviously body horror, or for Yuko, it's transformational horror of being powerless to stop your body from going through this horrific change, like a werewolf or something like that, although here it's far more disgusting. And in a way, it does kind of remind me of a book that I haven't read, but is in popular culture, The Metamorphosis by Kafka, where the main character is transformed into a cockroach and becomes a burden on their family. And in the Metamorphosis, the family tries, or succeeds, at least, in killing the main character. Whereas here, that sort of also happens. Yuko's parents are so disgusted that they attempt to drown the slug, at least, in the bathtub of salt, and it results in it results in the character dying. So kind of the same outcome there, but getting at that general type of sort of existential horror of not being able to stop this horrific transformation that's taking place. But one of the main themes that Ito is working with here is that of phobia. Yuko becomes her own fear, as it's noted that Ri says that they tormented Yuko with slugs one time, and so Yuko has sort of been forced to watch as her tongue is replaced by this creature that she does not like, is afraid of. And she's right to be afraid, because slugs are gross, they're slimy. I'm sure they mean no harm, but that sensation doesn't feel good. You wouldn't want any type of animal just to be growing in your mouth or anything like that. And so I think what Junji Ito is getting at here is you have to conquer your fear, or your fear will conquer you. In real life, that just means, standing up to spiders or whatever you fear, or else it'll guide you, and you might be prevented from having a reasonably normal life. But here, it's kind of become literal, where this fear has taken control over an aspect of her body, and she refuses to sort of conquer it or something like that. Or maybe she doesn't have the power to conquer it at this point. Maybe this is some kind of curse because her family was killing slugs in the backyard and some sort of slug witch cursed her, but there's no evidence to suggest that within the story. But I do like how Ito leaves that kind of there, the sort of getting at a big phobia and not being able to escape that phobia could be pretty horrific. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Slug Girl by Junji Ito. Pretty solid short story, although it is a bit short. And this video is less than 10 minutes long, which is a bit unusual for Short Story Tuesday. But not every short story is necessarily going to be an elaborate sort of 20-minute video or something like that. And I do have to say that I didn't like this as much as the titular story, but I still appreciated it. I thought it was really good. So I still recommend that you go seek it out if you're in the mood for something scary this October, this Junjitober. If you have any thoughts about it, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that other people can find out about this author or this story if they don't already know. And join the Discord if you want to have continued conversations and whatnot, which is in the comments or the description below. And until then, I wish you the best of luck in your weird and tongue-transforming travels. Farewell.